I'm going to show you how you can solve this very simple coding challenge. Now if you are an experienced developer, then this coding challenge should be super simple for you and you should be able to solve it within under 60 seconds. Now if you are an absolute beginner and have no idea about this, this video is perfect for you. So in this video I'm going to 1. Show you how to solve this problem, 2. Which aspects of it do you need to understand, and then 3. How can you understand which tests you have in order to prove that your code works. And 4. I'm going to explain any other points that you might need to know that are relevant to this. Now, a good skill of any senior developer is being able to explain to junior developers and beginners how to solve simple tasks. So if you are a junior developer and you want to aspire to be a senior developer, then it's also worthwhile you watching how I managed to explain to a beginner how you can solve this and also how they can learn new skills about programming. There are many things that you need to learn in the beginning, the fundamentals of programming, like what's a function, a variable, a constant, and so on. This video is perfect for that because I'm going to take a simple task and then split it down bit by bit and explain to you exactly what you need to know. So if you do understand how to do this, then make sure you write in the comments how quickly you managed to do it and also what your solution was. If you don't understand any of the points throughout this video, please, this is the time to write in the comments below exactly what you didn't understand, and me or one of the other people will be able to assist you with answering this. Don't be ashamed and don't be embarrassed about writing a question that you don't know how to do. This is totally normal. So take the time in this video to listen to me so I can explain to you how to solve this, and hopefully by the end of this video you will know exactly how to do this by yourself. Now if you do need to watch this video over and over again, then do this as well. This is a very simple task, and by the end of it you will definitely know what a function is and how to return information from a function, and also how to add two numbers together. And you will also understand how you can read the test data to know that your code does work. Now if you are able to solve this task super quick, then give it a like now to say that you were able to do it. This gives me a good indication of how easy or how hard it is. And like I said, if you found it really hard, please write in the comments which parts of it you found hard. And at the end of the video, please tell me also which things maybe that I did miss out or went too fast on. It's really important to me so that I can then fix this for the next coding challenge video which I'm going to make. I'm going to be making one of these every single day. Now if this is the first day, then you'll see another video coming tomorrow. But if this is now a few weeks down the line, you should be able to see a whole bunch more other coding challenges that I have created. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So the most important thing with any task is obviously to understand the instructions and to know exactly what you've got to do. So let's go through reading the actual challenge and the instructions and what result we are expected to give upon returning the data. As you can see, we need to return the sum of two numbers. We are using JavaScript. Now if you don't know what JavaScript is and so on, then it is basically a programming language. I'm going to be making other videos about other languages, but for the time being, JavaScript is the programming language that we're going to be using. The challenge says return the sum of two numbers. Well, we all know that adding two numbers, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. And the 2 plus 2 is the addition that we do inside of our brain, is essentially what we need to do in this program. So we all know that when we were a child, when someone said add 2 plus 2, in our brain we took 2 together, we added the other 2, and then we went, wait a minute, that's 4. So the function that we need to do in our brain is addition. And what we're going to do inside of our code is essentially do 2 plus 2 or 4 plus 4. Or what we're going to say is, because we don't know that it's going to be 2, we don't know it's going to be 2, we just know it's going to be a value and another value too. So in this situation we can just call it A and B. And in order to give the result of A and B, we need to add the two together and then give the result of C, let's call it. Our addition function is taking A and B, adding the two numbers together, and then giving the results. So every single time this function, this method, in this situation it's called a function, is called, it knows it's going to get two parameters, parameter A and parameter B. And when the person who calls this addition knows that when they give two numbers, that they are going to receive one number in return. That is all this function does essentially. So when we see this challenge, it says return the sum of two numbers. So we have a function here. You can see the description says create a function that takes two numbers as arguments and returns their sum. The return is a key word in JavaScript, and this is important that we use it. So by returning means giving back. That is the result of it. Returning the result of their sum is what it is. So their sum in this situation is the result. It's the return value. Some functions have a void return function, which means it doesn't return anything whatsoever, and it actually doesn't say return throughout the function. But that is implied that it returns nothing when it is a void function. In this situation, we have in the examples addition, 3 and 2 are the two arguments that are given, and this is a number and a number. And then we see there's like an arrow and then 5. This is saying that the addition function is expecting when it is given a 3 and a 2 that the result is going to be 5. The second one says addition minus 3 as the first argument and then minus 6 as the second argument, and the return value is then an arrow going to it and then minus 9. This is expecting that when the addition function is called with the two parameters of minus 3 and then minus 6, that the result, the return value of that one addition function is going to be minus 9. And the third one here is once again the arguments of the addition function is 7 and then 3. When we look at the arrow, we see then 10. 10 is then the return value, the result, the sum that the addition function is expected to then give back. And now in this situation, when we get 7 and we get 3, we are expecting that the return value is 10. Now if we look at the notes here, it's also giving you some form of warnings, and it says don't forget to return the result. If you don't return the result, then it's automatically a void value. So by not returning something means that it's not going to get an integer, a number in this situation, in return. I said integer and number because in some programming languages, that a number like 1, 2, 5, 10, minus 3, minus 6 is a whole number and is classed as an integer. Now by programming in JavaScript, it's called a number. So anything that is a whole number and doesn't have any decimal points is classed as a number. In other videos, we'll move on to other primitive types, but in this video, we're concentrating on numbers or integers, whichever one that you want to call it. So here it says, don't forget to return the result. In this situation, just to keep it very simple, the last thing that we say in this function is return and the results of the two numbers being added together. Now the next thing it says, if you get stuck on the challenge, find help in the resources tab. Well, I am your help, and I'm going to tell you how you can exactly solve this. And then if you're really stuck, unlock the solutions in the solution tab. Don't worry about it, I am going to give you the solution in this video, so we can skip over that one. So let's now look at this. Which topics here does it say that we need to cover? So it says here that we've got algebra, language fundamentals, maths and numbers. Well, we've talked about A plus B. That is basic algebra, where you replace the actual number with then letters of the alphabet. You've also got language fundamentals. We've also talked about that as well. We've got functions, we've got variables in this situation, return values. These are fundamentals. Maths, well, we've got 2 plus 2. We've got addition. That is a fundamental thing of mathematics. And then finally we have numbers. Well, we talked about that, integer and numbers, regardless whether it is a negative or a positive. If it's a whole number, it comes under the numbers or integers in this situation. So let's now move over to the code tab to have a look at how we can do this. We can see in the main code panel that we have function followed by space and then addition followed by an open brackets, A, comma, space, B, close brackets, then open curly braces and then a new line, an empty space, and then a closing curly braces. This is the function that will be executed in order to test that your code is correct. JavaScript doesn't declare a return function here, but ultimately this function must return, given response, an integer, a number. And that should be the sum in this situation of A and B. So when we looked at the previous example, we go back to the instructions, we had addition 3 and then comma 2, return 5. When we go back to the code, we've got the addition function and we have A, comma, space, B. This means that the first argument is going to be, let's go back, 3 and then the second argument is b, which is then going to be 2. Now we are expected to return the sum of a plus b. Now we can go ahead and write this already. So let's just say a and then plus b. That is the sum. So c is equal to a plus b. Now if we are doing algebra, then we can say c equals a plus b. This here is basic algebra, and it is nothing more than that. So if you have learned algebra at school, this is it in use. Now our function says that we should return that value. Now at the moment we've just said c equals a plus b. What we need to do is use the return keyword as per the instructions. Let's go back. Do not forget to return the result. This is telling you to use the return and the result of a plus b. Now in this situation all we have to do is say return a plus b. The result of a plus b in this situation is going to be maybe 5 if we base our figures on the first number, so 3 plus 2. So we know here that a here is equal to 3 and then b here is equal to 2. So a plus b here is going to equal to 5. So we are returning the value of a plus b, which is equal to 5. Now in JavaScript it's really important when you finish a line of code, a statement, that you end it with a semicolon. So here we need to add a semicolon onto the end. If we don't do this in this situation, we won't get an error because it is the code goes to the next thing that it finds is the curly braces. And that will then say, okay, I know that this one block, this function is been finished, and that is all the code that is contained within inside of it. So here you will not have an error. But JavaScript requires that you end each statement, which we'll move on to in other videos. A statement ends with a semicolon. So just take away right now is that when we write a statement, return a plus b, semicolon is a statement, and that is what's important to know. And everything between the curly braces is our code block. And what we have here completely is a function as well. So let's have a look now about how the code will be executed and what it looks like when it is executed using the test tab. So if we come here and we see test.assert equals, just don't worry about this. This is just the code in the background being executed. What is interesting here and what is important here is it says addition brackets 2 comma 3 brackets comma 5. What this is saying is that everything within inside of the highlighted area here, the result must equal 5. So comma space 5 is basically saying that the result of this here must equal 5. That's what it's saying. And if we go on to the next one, it will make more sense. So addition minus 3 minus 6. So the two arguments are minus 3 and minus 6. And after the comma here it says 9. So it's saying the result of addition minus 3 minus 6 must equal minus 9. And then we go on to the third one. We see addition 7 comma 3. So the first argument is 7, second is 3, and it's saying that it must return the value of 10. And then the final one is 88 is the first argument, 2 is the second argument, and it's saying that the result, the sum of that one function must return 90. So there we go. Now if we go back to our function and we say, right, if we get a is equal to 3, or sorry, if we get a is equal to 2, so the a is equal to 2 now, and b is equal to 3, then our function must return 5. Well, we know from here that 2 plus 3 is 5, so this will work. Now if we then come to the next one, and we see that there's minus 3 and minus 6, so we change this, and we've got minus 3 and minus 6. Well, we know adding minus 3 to minus 6 is going to give us minus 9. So we know that this one's going to pass. Next is 7 and 3. So if a is equal to 7, b is equal to 3, then we know it's going to return 10. And the final one is just to do it a little bit differently. Is what essentially we're talking about is that a is 88 and b is 2. So when it is here, 88 plus 2 is equal to 90. So let's change this back now. And we've made sure that we've got our semicolon on there. And what we can do now is we can submit this pressing the check button. And what will happen is all of those tests will be executed using our code. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? As you can see on the right hand side, we've got a green tick on all of them saying test passed, value is equal to. So equal to 5. What this means is that value, if it said value equal 5, it would mean that value has the value of 5. But because it has equal, this is basic algebra as well. It means that it has the same value as, so value has the same value as 5. And then the second one says value has the same value as -9. The third says value has the same value as 10. And the fourth one says value has the same value as 90. So that is basically it. Now, if we change our test to make sure it fails, and we say A star, which is for multiplication, B semicolon, this is proving to us that all of our tests will now fail. And this is what we want to do. We want to prove that we can break our tests as well. So, well, this is going to fail now. And as you can see here, it says failed, expected 5, instead got 6, because we had 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Now, if we change it to division, so A divided by B, and we check this once again, we'll now get it being wrong again. So being able to know that you can make your tests fail is super important. And as you can see here, they all fail again. Now, if we place it back to A plus B, but this time we put A plus B plus 1, and we do it again, this is being a good developer because you are proving that your code actually works. And as we can see once again, it all fails. And once we remove the +1 or any other incorrect signs, we will see that our test passed every single time. What we are doing here is we are proving to ourselves that we can explicitly make our tests fail and make them pass. We are proving our code. Now that we've been over all of this, this has been a really simple explanation of everything. A and B are arguments and they are variables. They hold the value of what has been given. So when we go back to the tests, you see that addition is being executed and it has 2 arguments. The left hand one is 2 and the second one is 3. This, when it's being used, are going to be replaced with the variables of A and B. So inside of your function, you know that A is whatever was passed in first and B is whatever is passed in second. The order of the arguments given to the function, and here the addition, is the order that you will get them. Now, if there was a third argument given, then you would get A, B and C. And if there was 4, you would get another one, and so on. So you can always see in your function declaration how many parameters, how many arguments you are expecting. Now, have you understood this video? Did you understand what a function was? Did you understand how to return a value? I hope that you understood that you must put a semicolon on the end, otherwise you will get a syntax error in some cases, and in some other cases you will kind of get some weird results because you won't understand it. So once you have completed a statement, which we'll talk more about in other coding challenges, remember to put a semicolon on the end. If you need to return a value in a function, remember you must say return, and always return the result on the same line that you write return. So write return, space, and then the result, semicolon. Don't put it on a new line because that can give you different results. Make sure it's always on the same line. We could talk a little bit further about return, but we're going to leave it for another video. Now, the other thing also to note is that there were test.assert equals. This is another topic totally, but all you've got to understand is that it's assisting you to be able to test information and compare the results. But we will talk about this further in other more advanced videos. This is one is supposed to be super easy. This video has taught you about language fundamentals, and you should have a better understanding about it now. So if you did like this video, please understand that there is a YouTube algorithm that works based upon how you interact with this video, and it really helps me if you give it a like. And also, I would really like your feedback on how you thought my presentation skills are. Did you understand it? And did I speak clear enough, slowly enough, quick enough, or did I say too much? So please really give me your feedback about what you thought about this video, because it helps my video all round. Now, in order for this video to be shown to more people, it actually requires that you like it or comment or share or subscribe. You need some form of user interaction for me. So please think about doing that for me as well. My name is David Thorne. You've been watching David's videos. Thank you very much for watching. And if there is a second one in this series, which there will be, then it will be on the screen right now. Take care, stay safe, and goodbye.